revealed he's to receive the AstraZeneca jab in the coming days.
To the US, where President Biden has said that Russia's President Putin will pay a price for allegedly trying to influence last year's US presidential election, something Russia denies.
Mr. Biden also said he thought Mr. Putin was a killer.
And we love this story. We've just been watching chimpanzees in the Czech Republic zoom each other.
Yep, two zoos 150 kilometres away from each other have linked up the animals to make up for the lack of interaction from visitors during lockdown.
1459G.
BBC Minute.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
No go tear your pocket on top unnecessary flanger. Make you sit down for house with better channels wey dey on top Go TV. Enjoy La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, Niger series, telenovela, Pikin Entertainment, BBN Niger highlights, and Nigerian Idol on top Go TV. This one na correct enjoyment for small money and better value wey no tear pocket. Go TV, love it.
Splash FM 105.5.
It's in! City have got to go back! It's Dzeko! Oh, goal! Unbelievable!
Cristiano Ronaldo, yes! Oh, yes!
The beautiful game of football transcends the green grass. Let's capture it for you in the most unforgettable manner. Just football on Splash 105.5 FM. The goals.
Oh my God!
The near goals.
Oh, what a miss!
Shots on and off targets. The drama, the controversies, the reactions. Miss anything? With us, you have everything. Every Wednesday, join the winning team. Kick-off time is 4 p.m. We'll keep you glued to your radio set for 1 hour, one whole hour, discussing the round letter game of soccer. Wednesdays, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Just football. At the sound of the whistle, let the action begin.
Still rocking, still rocking the IMC. Let's finish.
Okay, we are back again this time around to talk football like we do on this dial every Wednesday, same time. Yes, it is time again for Just Football on Splash 105.5 FM. It is the Integrity Station. Of course, we're excited, we're happy. It's all about the UEFA Champions League, and we saw games from last night. Well, for those of you who are expecting surprises, sorry, the surprise didn't come. It didn't come yesterday, but I don't know if it's something that will come later today. But then you have to define surprises really when you see the kind of fixtures that we have today. But of course, you're welcome to Just Football. We'll talk about the UEFA Champions League today. We're looking at the chances of Chelsea against Atletico Madrid. Of course, that should be the star match of the day. Well, as far as I'm concerned anyway, I like to believe that it's the same for you too, and not just the UEFA Champions League. There's also Champions League right here on the African scene. We talk about the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. That's the equivalent of the UEFA Europa League. We'll talk about that today. And we have a Nigerian representative who is in action today at faraway South Africa. I'm talking of Imba International. This is one title they have not won, and they're hoping to make history doing this. And of course, Fatal Shaw is the man who is leading the squad at this point in time. We'll talk about that today on the show. And of course, real quick, from something that Arsene Wenger has said, I listened to the interview you had yesterday, and he was talking about how he wants a radical change to the calendar, the football calendar. Like, having World Cups, imagine having the World Cup every 2 years. And I wonder what that would do for the sports generally, and also for the teams who literally might not have a chance winning the World Cup. But we'll talk about all of that and so much more on Just Football today, Wednesday. Welcome to the show. My name is Blessing Fowowe. You can be a part of this by our social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter. Really, we are wondering about Chelsea and that defense that they have since Thomas Tuchel took over. They've considered just 2 goals in 12 games since Thomas Tuchel came on board, and we're wondering, facing another tough team like Atletico Madrid, could there be a point where they get to concede goals? That's the question. Can that record be broken later today? That's what we want to find out about. So you can find us on our Facebook page, search for Splash 105.5 FM in Ibadan, also on Twitter at Splash FM 1055. My friends are here, and we are doing this right together today. Faith Adedeji is here, Ayobami and Nima Shanwa as well. Good afternoon, guys. How are you doing? Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Blessing. Good afternoon, Ayobami, and of course, to the most important member of the Just Football team. Our esteemed listener out there, we're super excited to be back. It's another Wednesday, and talking about surprises, I think I'm super surprised that AY is donning a Real Madrid jersey today, because I've always known him to be a big fan of Atalanta. He talks about everything that is going on in the club side. Is either showing you pictures of Joseph Illicit today, showing you Duvan Zapata tomorrow,
the magic Gasperini,
telling you Gasperini, telling you about the man that's left now, Papu Gomez. That is the kind of person he has been. So I'm surprised he's now donning a jersey of the club that got them knocked out, that got Atalanta knocked out of the Champions League yesterday. Maybe when you eventually put on his MIC, we'll tell us more about that. But you've reeled out so many things we'll be talking about today. Chelsea in the news, of course. They will also be on the pitch later on today. Arsene Wenger in the news as well. So it's another wonderful time to be on Just Football. I urge our listeners to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Your mic is on. Defend yourself.
Well, there's nothing to defend. I'm just here to defend the good spirit of sports, the show of sportsmanship. There's a saying that if you can't beat them, you join them, isn't it? Obviously, I was here on the sport.
Have you joined Real Madrid?
I haven't. I'm not, and I'm not even an Atalanta fan. I just seem to have a soft spot for them. That's why I usually just wax lyrical about their achievements and their style of play and all that. But unfortunately, they came up against an uphill task at the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium against Real Madrid last night. But you just really have to give it to them that, listen, this team is one on the rise. What Gasperini is doing is simply just what you can't just shove aside anytime soon. We all thought when Papu Gomez left for Sevilla in January, the fulcrum of their creativity has departed them, but that hasn't been the case. They still keep scoring. Surprisingly, Luis Muriel, who is actually now fond of coming off the bench to get the goals, he just can't stop scoring. Look at the Serie A list for the race for the Pichichi is, I think, amongst the top 3 guys right there. So indeed, what Atalanta have got for them is something remarkable. When you juxtapose their achievements with the amount of funds they have available to spend, they can't even compete with the likes of Torino, the likes of Roma in transfer markets, yet they are placed above these teams on the log standings. That says a lot about why you really need to actually look into Atalanta and just for a minute just give them kudos, give them credit for what they deserve. But last night it's the end of the road for them, but I'm really quite convinced that they'll come back again next season. They seem to look like a team that will qualify again for the next Champions League, and I'm so delighted to talk about Champions League itself later today.
Okay, indeed. Thanks for backing your team, Atalanta, giving us reasons why we shouldn't give up on them just yet. Okay, you have to. But I'd like for us to talk about this issue about Wenger, and Wenger talking about the World Cup coming up every 2 years. But I'd like for us to go on a quick break real quick, and when we return, we'll start off from there, talk about what that should mean for teams, for countries who naturally or ordinarily wouldn't have the highest possible chances to win the World Cup, what that should do for them, and of course what that should do for African countries really, because I remember Patrice Motsepe, the new president of CAF, talking just yesterday, telling us how he feels like an African team is due, an African nation is due to win the World Cup. So after this break, we'll be back to talk about that. Stick around, still Just Football on Splash 105.5 FM.
Sísè oníbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ sí kọ́ yìí tó ń fi akọ sí lórí pópó ìfẹ́ wa hàn. Ilé ìgbọ̀n wù mí lórí o.
Ẹ wo ọkùnrin yìí tí wọ́n sọ pé òun lólówó jù ní Áfíríkà. Ó mọ ìyàwó láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni.
Ṣadé, ṣé wọ́n ti bọ̀ bójú ẹlẹ́gbàá yẹn tó jẹ́ pé kì í dákẹ́ orin ṣáá ni? Ṣé kìí ṣe òun ni gbogbo ayé ń gbọ́ báyìí? Bọ̀bọ́ yẹn ti jẹ́ lọ mẹ́n.
Dájúdájú, ìwọ náà lè gbéra láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ síbi àṣeyọrí gíga tirẹ̀ níwọ̀n ìgbà tó bá ti fọkàn sí i. Ǹjẹ́ òun yí àlá rẹ pẹ̀lú ìpinnu gidi tó ń ti alábàáṣe tó ṣe déédéé lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ? Dájúdájú, ó ṣeé ṣe. Stanbic IBTC, member of Standard Bank Group.
You know that feeling when you keep downloading and streaming interesting videos, but your mind keeps whispering, continue, your pockets go here. But not anymore. When you subscribe to MTN's Affordable terms and conditions apply.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
When we say the new Maltina pineapple and vanilla taste like adventure, here's what we mean. You kit up like an action hero. Check yourself out in the mirror. And then, in slow-mo, you grab a chilled bottle of Maltina pineapple or Maltina vanilla. And enjoy the tastespiration.
Own the flavor with the new Maltina Vanilla Pineapple All Classic and let the tastespiration fill you. Maltina, share happiness.
Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá. Nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n. Ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé, o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ. Wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ o fún ọ oníṣòwò epo bẹntiró àti wọ́n tó ní mọ́tò ajágbéjò elépo. Etí ẹ mélòó ìwọ ọ̀gá máníjà ilé ìképo sí ní ṣókí 7117 ló lè ṣàǹfààní fún ọ. 7117 ní nọ́mbà yẹn o. 7117 ní nọ́mbà yẹn. Yẹ kọjá ọjà rẹ wò lórí fóònù ẹ. Jẹ ìṣọwọ́ náà mọ́ ẹ wò àgbà ẹ o. Yẹ kọ ìfẹ́rù jíṣẹ́ ẹ wò lórí fóònù ẹ o. 7117 ní nọ́mbà yẹn.
Àgbéjì tún dé ètò ìmójútó ìsàlẹ̀ odò látòkèèrè ìyẹn downstream remote monitoring system DRMS fún àwọn ibi ìkọjá epo rọ̀bì pamọ́ sí ìyẹn depo àti àwọn ilé ìtajà epo bẹntiró láti máa tọpẹpẹ àti ṣàkóso ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo àwọn ọjà epo rọ̀bì nípa lílo *7117#. Àjọ elétò epo rọ̀bì ìyẹn Department of Petroleum Resources DPR ló ṣàgbátẹrù rẹ̀. DPR àjọ tó ń fòfin sí ètò epo rọ̀bì ti Nàìjíríà.
Ìbàdàn 9 Mobile 4G LTE ti balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀. Àfihàn eré ìdárayá bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbá wọn ní yàjóyàjó á yàtọ̀. Ìpè lórí fídíò àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ rẹ́kẹ́sẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ yóò máa lọ ní rọ̀rùn. Kò sí yọnu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, Ìbàdàn ẹ jẹ gbádùn ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ayélujára pẹ̀lú ojúlówó 4G LTE lórí àtẹ dátà 9 Mobile. Gba gígábáìtì méjì pẹ̀lú wíwà lórí social media lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fún ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà. Gígábáìtì méje pẹ̀lú wíwà lórí social media lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ẹgbẹ̀rún kan lé lẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà àti gígábáìtì mẹ́ta àtààbọ̀ dátà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lálẹ́ ní àwọn àṣàyàn olóṣooṣù fún dátà ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún kan náírà àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Tẹ *200*3*1# láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ìlànà àtàdéhùn wàṣà o. 9 Mobile.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey dey use comfort?
No, dear. Na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pain wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
Come, you don't put yeast for bread before? The dough go just the rise like 5,000 naira when you put for EcoBank. Before you know, if it become 25,000 naira.
Oga Beka!
Hi! Now so EcoBank customers just they dance a willow as EcoBank Super Rewards don't begin boku their money falla.
Save 5,000 naira for your EcoBank account for 30 days or open new EcoBank account with 5,000 naira deposit.
And you fit be one of the 50 people who go collect 25,000 naira a woof every week for 4 months. 4 people go win 1 million naira grand prize each. Collect EcoBank card for your account and link your card to *326# or EcoBank Mobile to increase your assurance. So terms and conditions apply. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hey, welcome back to Just Football. Thanks for keeping it locked here on Splash 105.5 FM. We're talking about Arsene Wenger and this lofty plan or dream that he has before we went on that break. And he's talking about the delayed European Championship finals taking place this summer. And of course, before the 2022 World Cup begins in Qatar, of course, it was moved to November and December due to the region's climate. Now, Wenger is talking about, he believes that as a shift, this shift offers a prime chance to make radical radical changes, but a long-term vision is now required, on one of which it claims should include having the 4-year tournament cycle, making it 2 years. It says it's a good opportunity to remodel the football season with the World Cup in November, but it's not the case, so that will not happen. It says we have a worldwide consultation starting in March, having the World Cup once in 2 years instead of once in 4 years. I feel like that might take away the glamour of the game. Don't you think so?
Yeah, obviously. For me, I completely agree with that. That I will take away the whole spectacle that comes with the World Cup. It will take away the anticipation. To take everything that comes with the World Cup. You cannot begin to have the World Cup every 2 years. Then, that's, I would say, the way we all look forward to the World Cup, then it shouldn't be a big deal. It will also affect, just like the Euros that he's talking about, it will affect continental championships as well. If you're having the World Cup every 2 years, then, you want to have the, CAF, African Cup of Nations, you want to have the European Championships, you want to have several tournaments and all that, then you cluster the calendar too much for these players and it will become a little bit difficult when you look at it across board. So for me, when I look at everything, maybe Wenger has been talking a lot about changes. I remember when he was talking about the old throwing issue, talking about having changes as regards that, but it was not someone that cut across as someone that liked change a lot. When he was in football management, it was a little bit rigid. Is it right to say a little bit? It was really rigid.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. For me, it was someone that...
For someone that has been celebrated as the man that actually introduced English football to science, would you say it was rigid? Would you say it wasn't really in line with embracing change?
With changes.
Exactly. No, I'm not talking about all those kind of embracing technology and all those kind of things. But I'm talking about someone that sticks to what he believes in. He doesn't. When you look at
that's tactics for you.
I feel like you're in a way defining as Alex Ferguson.
No, Ferguson is more dynamic. Ferguson.
Now you're talking tactically, not really in terms of his
overall management
philosophy.
Yeah, I'm talking about tactics. I'm talking about philosophy, obviously. And when you're looking at everything Wenger stands for, but right now he has been talking a lot about changing several things. But maybe there's a way we get scared of change. There's a way we don't want to change the status quo. He has talked, maybe if we try it will work, but I don't think it will be the best thing for the World Cup. Just like the Olympic Games, there's a way you build that anticipation. There's a way you build that urge to have it come on board and all that. So I think for me, we should leave the World Cup
once in 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's one angle to it. I was looking at it from the glamour angle, and I'm also looking at it from the angle of what this could do to countries or nations where you would never really think of them when you talk about those with the highest chances of winning the World Cup. And it's also for what Wenger is talking about. It says, if you look at world football now, there's a gulf between Europe and the rest of the world. And to get more national teams going into the World Cup to help develop their football, they also have to have more opportunities to be able to go at it and play at the world level.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, honestly. He's obviously looking at it from the global scope. That listen, the world football power is obviously a bit tilted towards Europe and South America right now. It's quite hard for us to look outside those two continents for a country that can equally just win the World Cup. Maybe that also explains why no other country from another continent has been able to lift the World Cup. So for us to have the opportunity of having this thing spread around, to have people from across the whole world feel the vibe of winning the World Cup, playing the World Cup final, because let's face the fact, Africans usually turn off from World Cup in terms of the affinity, in terms of expectation, the moment we reach the semi-final stage, because usually we don't have a country there. The last time the closest rather we came was way back in 2010 when South Africa was stadium. Of course, that was the end of the road for Ghana in the quarterfinals against Uruguay. So for us to have a feel of it, it makes a lot of sense. And another angle to it is perhaps one thing I think is also very helpful for FIFA. If you guys noticed, in the last few months, there has been a bit of subtle tussle between FIFA and UEFA for the battle for supremacy, which of them would handle the calendar a lot better. This is obviously another giant step right there by FIFA. They feel the moment we actually make the World Cup once in 2 years, that would definitely reduce the power and the ability of
this
UEFA.
Is Wenger speaking anyway, not FIFA.
It's just a suggestion, obviously, and of course, he's working for FIFA, isn't he? And he's doing his job.
These are his personal opinions.
No. It is his job. That's his office. I think I'm forgetting the right name for the office now, but it's a job description in clear terms. Exactly, development of the global football. So he's only bringing this up as a suggestion. And if actually all parties that are meant to actually have a go, I mean, have a decision on it, deliberation and all that, eventually, give a thumbs up to it, then would eventually welcome it. So it sort of takes the power away from UEFA, from Continental Football Federation up back to FIFA, because when you have FIFA hosting a World Cup once in 2 years, that way, and of course, remember, it's going to be expanded from 36 teams to 48 teams I think in the next edition after this one. So all those things are pretty much trying to sway this all in favor of FIFA, to have a firm control of the calendar. Hold on to the power.
The World Cup.
And then I also...
It's not a way of watching at the World Cup. Sorry, Blessing. You look at the Champions League, it's been held every year, but that doesn't take away the glamour from it, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Today we are still going to have fixtures come up.
There's a reason why the World Cup is bigger than the Champions League. Many people
and there's a reason why the Champions League is the biggest club competition in Europe.
There's a reason World Cup is the biggest footballing
I recall
competition.
I think sometime last year when we talked about if we would take maybe 3 Champions League titles and 1 World Cup. I
think EY chose 1 World Cup. Yeah, I remember.
Why not? Why not? Why won't I?
But you see, I also feel like there's also the financial aspect of things that we're not talking about. Of course, maybe that's not something we'll talk about today, but maybe next Wednesday we'll take it more in depth and also speak with people who have the actual experience of playing at the World Cup and tell us how that feels like. But for now, let's move straight to the Champions League. We're starting on the African scene. That's the CAF Champions League, where African Sundowns, that's Mamelodi Sundowns, South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns, and Moroccan side Wydad Casablanca and Tunisia's Esperance qualified for this season's African Champions League quarterfinal. That's yesterday. Of course, the new CAF president is the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, and his team made it 4 wins from 4 in Group B with a 1-0 victory over TP Mazembe. Of course, that meant that they had all maximum points in that group, and of course, they still have 2 matches left to play. I mean, 12 points from 4 games played. That's absolutely impressive for them there. And in the same group, we had Sudan's Al Hilal and CR Belazi of Algeria. They drew goalless, but both of them are on 3 points with Mazembe, who are bottom of the group there. For Wydad Casablanca of Morocco, they qualified for the quarterfinals from Group C after they held Orea to a goalless draw in Guinea. Wydad are yet to concede a goal during the group phase of this competition. You have to keep your eye on them. What a defense they have so far. And South Africa's Kaizer Chiefs also earned a point away to Group C's bottom side Petro Atletico in Angola with a goalless draw. So, and Esperance became the 3rd team to qualify for the quarterfinals on Tuesday. That was yesterday, with a 1-0 victory away to struggling Zamalek there in Egypt. So the top 2 teams in each group qualified for the last 8, and already we have 3 teams who have made it to the quarterfinals there. And in the CAF Confederations Cup, this is what concerns us so much, because Enyimba International away in South Africa ready to play Orlando Pirates, and they say they are going for a victory, away victory, which would put them in a very, very maybe comfortable position, maybe not very, very, but of course quite comfortable. Why?
Yeah, it is, and I kind of like that mentality though, because really at this early part of the group stage proceedings, you need to actually garner as many points as possible. You just read out the list of teams that have already